Okay, ladies and gentlemen, settle in, settle in. Grab your popcorn, maybe double check those livestock pens tonight, because we're about to dive headfirst into one of the most bizarre, blood-curdling, and frankly, weird mysteries to emerge from the Americas in the last few decades, the Chupacabra. Now, the name itself is fantastic, isn't it? Chupacabra. Sounds like something you'd order at a slightly questionable roadside taqueria, maybe next to the mystery meat tacos. Actually, I could go for a chalupa taco right about now. But no, it's much more ominous. It translates directly from Spanish to, wait for it, goatsucker. Yes, its whole identity, its raison d'etre, is right there in the name. And why goatsucker? Because its terrifying claim to fame is preying on livestock, particularly goats, leaving them drained of blood. Allegedly drained of blood, of course. We'll get to that. Our story really kicks off in 1995, down in Puerto Rico. Farmers started finding their animals dead. Not just dead, but dead in a very particular, very unsettling way. They had strange puncture wounds, often on the chest. And the real kicker? The bodies were intact, but appeared to be completely drained of blood. No mauling, no half-eaten carcasses like your typical predator. Just empty. Like a White Castle's after Harold and Kumar visit. This wasn't just a couple of weird incidents. We're talking over 150 animals reportedly killed in one town, Canavanas, alone. The local government actually launched an investigation because they had no idea what was going on. Imagine being a small town official and suddenly you've got a caseload full of exsanguinated chickens and goats. Okay, Chief, another one. Looks like it lost about all of its blood. Just like the others. And then, the witnesses started coming forward. And this is where things get really interesting and, frankly, a little bit sci-fi. The early descriptions from Puerto Rico were wild. We're talking a reptilian, alien-like creature. Roughly the size of a small bear. Spines running down its back. Large, glowing red eyes. Sharp claws. Some said it walked on two legs, like a human or, well, as one eyewitness. Madeline Tolentino put it like a TV monster. She described it as about 4 feet tall, walking bipedally with its arms back in an attack position. She even noted its hair was rather short and close to its body. Rather well combed, in fact. See? Even terrifying monsters care about grooming. Others reported it moving with an eerie, unnatural gait, or even swooping down, suggesting wings. This creature was nothing anyone had seen before, or at least, nothing anyone wanted to admit they'd seen before. And wouldn't you know it, this wasn't just a Puerto Rican problem. The phenomenon quickly spread. Across Latin America, then up through Mexico, and eventually into the southern United States. Each new location, each new report, just added another layer to this deepening mystery. What was this thing? Was it one creature? Were there multiple? And how was it killing animals so cleanly? Now, because this story hopped borders like a caffeinated jackrabbit, the description started shifting. When the reports hit the southwestern United States and northern Mexico, the creature got a bit of a makeover. Less alien iguana, more diseased dog. Seriously. The description here often devolved into a hairless, canine-like animal. Bony limbs, strange skin. And this is where we get to the physical evidence. People started finding carcasses. Alleged Chupacabra bodies. This gained national attention, especially in Texas in 2007. A rancher named Phyllis Kenyon in Cuero, Texas, found a strange dead animal near her property after losing some chickens. She described seeing a strange, hairless creature with blue-gray skin, bony limbs, and an unnatural gait roaming her ranch. Then, another similar carcass was found. Kenyon was convinced. She even had the body stuffed. She went on documentaries, National Geographic, History Channel, Discovery, Animal Planet. She said, everybody wants to know more about the Chupacabra. And they did. This was it. Proof. A real, live, a real, dead chupacabra. But wait a minute, as is often the case in these stories, science wanted a word. DNA tests were conducted on these Texas carcasses. And the results were, drumroll please, coyotes. Specifically, coyotes suffering from the mange. Severe mange. Mange is a nasty skin disease that causes hair loss, thickened skin, and makes animals look gaunt and, yes, pretty monstrous. So, here we have our first major theory. The mundane one. Maybe it's all just coyotes, dogs, or other canids with mange. It explains the hairless, dog-like appearance seen in some reports. But does it explain the weird puncture wounds? Does it explain the blood drainage? Does it explain the bipedal, spiky, alien-like things seen in Puerto Rico? Maybe not completely. Of course, where there's a mystery, there are more exotic theories. Government experiments gone wrong? Alien creatures? Something supernatural? The reports from Mexico in 2010, with farmers finding dead livestock and seeing two glowing red eyes stared back at me from the darkness before the creature vanished, certainly keep those options on the table. As one farmer put it, with chilling simplicity, the chupacabra has returned. Skeptics, naturally, have their own explanations. They point to misidentified animals, mass hysteria, swamp gas, a no that's UFO, and plain old urban folklore. And here's another interesting twist. Some suggest that the initial, terrifying, reptilian description from Puerto Rico might have been influenced by a specific source, the 1995 sci-fi horror film Species. Think about it, movie comes out, features a scary alien creature. Suddenly, people seeing something they can't explain describe it looking an awful lot like that movie monster. Coincidence? Or mass subconscious suggestion? So, we've got competing ideas: mange-ridden canids? Alien lab escapees? Movie monsters come to life? Governments and scientists have investigated. From Puerto Rico in '95 to Mexico in 2010. Forensic analysis often points to canids. Vampire bats were even proposed for the blood drainage in Mexico, but their feeding didn't quite match the wounds. Most official inquiries have debunked the cryptid claims. The DNA tests in Texas seem pretty definitive for those carcasses. But here's the thing, despite the scientific explanations, despite the coyotes and the mange, the legend persists. People keep reporting sightings. Documentaries keep being made, exploring the mystery. It's a staple of Latin American folklore, inspiring films where it's everything from a terrifying predator on a cruise ship, Chupacabra, Dark Seas, to battling Danny Trejo at the Alamo, Chupacabra versus the Alamo. Why does it stick around? Maybe it's our innate fear of the unknown. Maybe it's because some of those initial reports, the intact, bloodless bodies, the truly bizarre descriptions before the mange dog version took over, are genuinely hard to explain away completely. Even after the scientific consensus, there's that little voice that says, but what about the ones they didn't find? What about the first sightings? So, what is the Chupacabra? The scientific consensus points to a combination of misidentified predators and animals suffering from disease, especially mange. It's a modern myth fueled by fear, folklore, and possibly a little Hollywood inspiration. But, you have to admit, some of those early reports are still pretty wild, aren't they? Puncture wounds, completely drained of blood. A bipedal, spiky, welcome TV monster. It makes you wonder, just a little bit. And that, my friends, is the enduring mystery of the Chupacabra. A creature born of fear, perpetuated by strange sightings, scientifically explained, and yet, it just refuses to die. Much like those goats, I suppose, if you don't look too closely. Thank you. Boom. I'm out.